Hi, we'd like to introduce you to the new test accession area in Vet CVI. For practicality purposes, I've actually created a couple drafts. The first we're going to go ahead and go into is a small animal CVI. So I'm going to go ahead and click on my draft. I have a lot of information in here already. Just for review and practicality purposes, if you go up here to the right upper corner, you can go directly to a menu that'll take you to your species class page. So anytime you want, you can go ahead and set up a draft, and then you can go ahead and edit or add any animal information that you'd like to. I've actually entered two dogs already. I've entered two puppies. I've entered a 12-week-old cockapoo, and I've entered a 10-week-old doodle. So I'm going to go ahead. I've entered some vaccinations, but if you go to the main screen, you're going to either be able to add a test or add a vaccination. You're going to go ahead and click on add a vaccination. I've put in a Novavax here because the dog is 12 weeks old. Went ahead and added the rabies vaccination. Also added the DAPPV on the date. If you want to add something additional as far as a vaccination, you just go up here to the upper right-hand corner, click on the button. You can go ahead and add your vaccination, pop in your date of vaccination, hit the checkbox, and hit save. This will actually show three different vaccinations then. If I want to add a test, for instance, on a small animal, a fecal exam or a heartworm exam if we've got an older dog, I simply click on add test. These tests normally, unless you're doing some kind of rabies titer and you need additional information for international travel, most of these tests are going to be in-field tests, meaning they are not going to require any accession information. So if it's an in-field test, you can go over here in the right corner where my mouse is, click the in-field test button off. You can simply drop in the date of your test. You can go ahead and add a fecal. You can use anything you want in the test code. Just going to drop in fecal. You can put negative and you can hit save. This will save all of your test accession areas. Again, on this 10-week-old doodle, if I want to edit a vaccination or add a vaccination, I can do that. If I want to add a test, I can do that. I can go to the test I already have listed, which I already have a fecal exam in this puppy. I can hit save. And then if you think there's more that you need to add at some time, you can certainly go back in and edit and do this. Then if you want to save this draft for future use when this puppy comes in for maybe a final inspection, you can go ahead and go up here to the floppy disk. That is your draft section. Go ahead and hit and save. I'm going to actually go back to my draft and template section now. I'm going to go ahead and show you how to add a test accession on a horse. I've set up my draft. I merely click on the certificate number. That opens my record. Again, if I want to go to any specific section of my CVI, I merely click on the three buttons in the upper right-hand corner. I'm going to go down to my species class. I have a horse entered already. I'm going to click on my one entry, and I'm going to go ahead and add my test. And today we're going to go ahead and add the Coggins test. So I'm going to just go ahead and drop in EIA. My bad. I'll drop in EIA as my test code. I'm going to put negative, but I'm also going to be required to add an accession number. Down here in the accession box, if you click on it, it's not going to take you anywhere. have to go over to the little green plus button over here to the right. You click on the green plus button. That's going to bring you to your accession area. You can drop in your accession date. Again, anytime there's a red asterisk by information, this is required information. Your accession number is 12345 6. Let's say, for instance, this was done at K-State. You're not required to put a Prem ID in. And unlike the previous section in Vet CVI, you're now not required to put an address, city, state, and zip in. You can merely hit save down here at the bottom. That's going to go ahead and add the information. You're going to hit save. Now, if you want to add vaccinations, you merely can go to add vaccinations. If you did a rabies vaccination, you can add that and you can click save. And then after you're done adding your tests or your vaccinations, you can merely hit done. If you do want to add another test, for instance, if you've done something strange, unusual, or even usual, you can add that test. You can go ahead and add another test. You can edit your test. You can add a test by merely clicking on the plus button. If the test does not require an accession number, you can click this infill test button over. It will only require you to enter a test name or test code and the result, and of course a date, and you can hit save. This is the end of our new test accession area.